Hello there, everybody. This is King Mac, your friendly hamburger pal. Welcome to this feature presentation on YouTube. Be sure to enjoy a hot, fresh cheeseburger along with some delicious golden French fries, a tasty milkshake, and a nice soft drink. Thank you all for watching, and now sit back and relax and enjoy as Tony here brings you our feature presentation of TTBurger game reviews.
Hey everybody, how you all doing today? It is I, Tony, and welcome back to another episode of TTBurger Game Reviews, as we have a multi-part review here for you all today. Another multi-part review as well, actually. Episode 240 here, and this will be a 4-part review, episode 240, part 1 of 4. Before I get started, I want to give a shout out to Free HD and SubZeroMNX for King Mac. I also want to give a shout out to Sedetta Hyperlamnia, Black Healer, Brick Girls Go Stateside, and Megs, YouTubers that definitely really worth checking out, and more. Along with everyone who else who has supported this channel, like SubZeroMNX, Rockstar Pool 69, and the Sensational Gent, and more and more and more. And if it weren't for all you guys, this channel would not be as big as it is today. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you all. I know there's other people I want to give shouts to here, but we don't have the time to name every single person. So shout out to all you all who have still supported this channel all the way. And today we're going to be talking about the stealth action genre. Now, those of you who grew up in the 90s and stuff with the PlayStation and the Nintendo 64 know of the stealth action genre. There were a lot of stealth action genre games out there. Like, if you had the PlayStation, we had like Metal Gear Solid, and we also had like the Tom Clancy Splinter Cell games, and we also had the game called Stolen on the PlayStation 2, and more and more and more. But there was one franchise that a lot of people have forgotten about, and this franchise started out on the PlayStation. This is how I first got into the stealth action genre. Of course, I played this game around the same time I played Metal Gear Solid, because they're both released in 1999 and stuff. So, both them got me into the stealth genre equally, but this is how I started. It started my love of the stealth action genre here. And that is the Syphon Filter series, and I remember like getting this game, like I actually got this as a gift for making the honor roll back when I was 10 years old and stuff like that. Like, if we made the honor roll, you get rewarded with like a video game or whatever, so you want it. And I happened to get the game here, and what started with my love is how like it wasn't just a simple mindless shooter. We just go around blasting people. You had to sneak and just to survive and stuff, because it's almost like a realistic filter for sure. This episode will be divided up into 4 parts. And part 1, we're going to look at Syphon Filter. Part 2, Syphon Filter 2. Part 3, Syphon Filter 3. And Part 4, Syphon Filter the Omega Strain. I know there's Syphon Filter Dark Mirror and Syphon Filter Logan Shadow, but I'm not looking at those games because, honestly, those games were way too linear and too action. I didn't focus on stealth at all, and they pretty much kind of just sucked for me and stuff, in my opinion. So I'm not going to be looking at those, but if I ever do decide to get those games, I'll look at them another time. But as of right now, I'm just going to look at the main 4 here, and we have a lot to talk about. Let's get started with talking about the original Syphon Filter by 99 Studios and iDevDex, exclusively for the PlayStation, released on February 17th, 1999. Now, Syphon Filter is an excellent game. Fantastic game. A great game in the stealth action genre that feels so cool that it actually feels like you're watching a movie and playing a game at the same time. It was one of the first games, along with Metal Gear Solid, that started my love for the stealth genre, like I mentioned. Sure, like I said, there was time playing Splinter Cell and stuff, but I didn't really care for the Splinter Cell series. That's just me, though, and stuff. But sure, Metal Gear Solid was more stealth sneaking-wise. Syphon Filter was more stealth action-wise, where like with Metal Gear Solid, you had to crawl and stuff like that to avoid attention, to avoid trapdoors, and just to avoid like lasers and stuff and everything. While Syphon Filter it's like the action part and stuff. It does have some Tomb Raider elements in it as well, when like climb ledges and stuff and everything. That's just me. Syphon Filter is definitely a must-buy for the PlayStation stealth action fans, and aside from some problems here, it's still a fantastic game that should not be avoided. Let's get started here.
When does the
The
operation
story of Syphon Filter takes place in 1999. You play as Gabriel Logan, who is an agent who works for the agency in Washington, D.C. with his partner from China, Lian Xing. And they're after Eric Romer, a terrorist who's involved with the international terrorist group called Black Barton, who are responsible for a viral outbreak of a virus called Syphon Filter that kills people across the world, starting in Costa Rica, working its way to North America and Europe and more. As Gabriel Logan, with the help of Lian Xing and Thomas Markinson, who is the director of the agency and more, your goal is to stop this terrorist threat and put an end to the Syphon Filter operation while taking down other terrorist members of Black Barton, including Mara Armov, Anton Gerdu, and more. And Mara Armov is actually would become one of the main antagonists in the franchise, and it's actually one of the coolest female video game antagonists for sure. But that's just me though. And the story is really deep. Sure, it has been done before, like with like stop a virus threat and everything, and a terrorist activity, but I like the story. It's really deep, like something you would see in the movies, like in an action movie or more. The presentation of Syphon Filter, the graphics are not the best. While it does have some detailed environments and stuff and everything, just the graphics could have been better. Like the character models here, like while they move around and stuff like that, and their arms and legs and stuff look detailed and move around and stuff, their faces look awful. It's like they just found low-resolution textures of like random faces and pasted it onto the character models and just called it a day and said, hey, we got our characters here. And aside from the characters in the opening cutscene, the characters' mouths don't move at all in any of their cutscenes aside from the opening. And it's like there's no facial animations in them at all whatsoever. Like if you're playing with a kid and stuff like that for the first time, it can be hard to tell who's talking because, you know, nobody's mouth moves. They don't show any facial animations or emotion in their faces or anything like that. So it's hard to tell who's talking when, as a kid, so that was like it for me. I mean, as I got older and played the game more and stuff like that, yeah, I knew who was talking and stuff, but still, just the face just looked ugh. Same with the in-game cutscenes. The characters' faces look awful in the in-game cutscenes as well. The environments do look better, and they serve the game well with the graphics and more, and they're also huge, giving you time to explore. They have realistic weather effects and fire effects and stuff too, and it's really cool with smooth frame rate and stuff. But the character models do kind of hurt the graphics though. That's just me. The sound is better than the graphics. The voice acting is deep and serious where it sounds like a movie, and where it sounds like real people talking. Sure, the acting is not the best of all time, but the voice acting definitely gets the job done. I know a lot of people hated the voice acting and stuff, and thought the voice acting was hammy and stuff, like there could have been more time in the studio and stuff. And I will admit, some of the performances are not very good, like some of like the minor characters, but the main characters sound the best. The best performances of other voices are John Chacon, who voices Gabe, and Ava Fang, who voices Leon. They're the two best in the game, along with Mara Armov, who's voiced by Anna Maritskaya, and other actors too. There are a few actors though who sound like they needed more time in the studio stuff like that and such, like the character Benton. His actor sounds like he's just reading his lines and stuff like that in the studio and stuff. But overall though the voice acting is great, and of course we gotta talk about the music. And what we have here are some kick-ass electronic tunes with some percussion and synthesizers and more. And we cannot talk about the music without mentioning that kick-ass theme song that plays in the main menu. This is one of the best theme songs ever in a video game. And here, those of you who have never heard this theme before, I'll play it for you right now. And it plays in the main menu too, where it shows like the cast of characters too, and that adds to it. But here, I'm done talking about this. Let me play it for you all right now. Definitely kick-ass and very memorable and stuff. One of the most memorable theme songs ever, like I mentioned. The only problem I have with the sound is that the weapons sound like weak toys. like,
Check with our contact
yeah,
at World Health
it kind of earwaves you a little bit.
Qualcomm is also
But that's just me.
coordinating the WHO's
Gameplay
efforts to
aside
track
from
down
Filter,
these
we have a
worldwide
fun
viral
stealth
outbreaks.
action game where we stealth sneak our way to the end of each level by completing objectives and taking down the bosses and the terrorists involved in Syphon Filter and more. You have an arsenal of weapons to choose from. I mean, you have a lot of weapons like a 9mm silencer, pistol, and stuff like that. You got like a Colt 45 or something like that, and you got like a combat shotgun or a regular shotgun, an M16, and you got like tons and tons of weapons stuff to choose from, and stuff. You got an M79 grenade launcher too, tons of weapons. But you want to talk about weapons? The coolest weapon in Syphon Filter is the taser. The taser is the coolest weapon, and in this game, one of the coolest weapons in any video game. Sure, there was that taser in the game GoldenEye 64 and stuff, but that was like an unlockable weapon stuff that wasn't in the actual game. That it was just like a little just that weapon. But this taser, you shoot someone with this taser and watch them catch on fire and stuff like that, and they scream and fall. It's satisfying to watch. And you also got weapons like the night vision rifle, which is cool to see when it's dark out in the snow and everything like that, and the gas grenades to kill them with gas stuff like that. It's really, really cool. You have 20 missions all taking place in different parts throughout the world, like Russia, the United States, and Costa Rica, and more and more. As Gabriel Logan, you have mission objectives you must complete, and mission parameters you must not fail. What I mean by the parameters are stuff like just sometimes you'll have to protect CBDC agents or from being shot and stuff if they disarm a bomb or something like that, if you fail to do that, you'll restart at the end of the beginning level or the checkpoint and stuff. The stealth part of the game is very high. With certain levels where you must be sure you are sneaking or hiding or being at a distance to avoid getting killed, because when you're sneaking, you're trying to like not be seen. If you're too close, you could and they throw grenades like that and try to avoid. You could get killed in the explosions like that, or get electrocuted or zapped or whatever, or whatever. And you just must be careful not to die, because if you're not good at stealth games, you will die a lot if you're not careful. It's kind of like in Tomb Raider or stuff like that, where you got to be sure you know what you're doing, or else you will die. And in this game, like I said, it's a stealth game where stealth and taking cover are your best friends. Also, you need to be sure you complete every objective, or else you cannot advance. And sometimes the big levels make you miss objectives where you will be at the end of the level only to hear Leon say, "Gabe, you have to go back. You haven't completed all your objectives." And your objectives just vary in each level, like finding a certain number of items to disarm or activate or so, or protecting hostages or CBDC agents, or destroying an item or sneaking through a level the whole time without being detected, and more. There's a big variety here, and also the boss fights feel a challenge too. They're not just simple, just shoot away and stuff. No. You need to find a weak spot in the boss and shoot that weak spot by dodging and taking cover to avoid getting shot at or killed. And I will admit, when I first played this, I played it thinking it was just going to be a shooter, and I realized that I'm going to need some help here. And I watched the training video where Lian Xing tells you how to play the game, and I realized, what was I thinking? And when you start stealthing away, it made the game more enjoyable when you learn how to play it properly. But Syphon Filter was a fun game, and I could not wait for the sequel to come. But now the negatives. Like I mentioned, the character models look awful with those faces and stuff like that. If you miss an objective during the game, you have to go back and complete that objective. This can be frustrating. This can happen even on the first level. Like on the first level, you have to be sure you don't go forward. You must turn right into this little alleyway here and climb over the boxes and just go to this little building where you must disarm this bomb. But those of you who didn't know this or didn't have a guidebook at the time, you can accidentally miss the spot and have to go all the way back to the beginning and not know what to do. Unless you have the map, which the map can help sometimes, but sometimes it doesn't tell you where to go because it'll be like objective unknown or something like that. And while I mentioned the stealth and the difficulty are high, it can get a little tough and be all over the place where you'll be forced to restart missions and stuff like that. A good example is when you're in the Soviet base of Romer's base. You have to avoid being detected by the guards and searchlights, and you must be sure you stealthily take out the guards with headshots and stuff like that. And I forgot to mention that headshots are your best friend here as well. You'll be sure you get as many headshots as you can to avoid being detected by guards and stuff like that. I forgot to mention that there, and I apologize. But you need to be sure you stay clear of in this level, you have to be sure you stay clear of every guard and searchlight. And if one of them detects you, they will all gang up on you, and you'll be overcome by the enemies, and you'll have to restart the level, restart the checkpoint. But if you hit the checkpoint while you're detected, you're going to be detected again, and it's just going to frustrate you more and more, and you're going to be better off just restarting the level over again. The controls will take a little time to get used to. You're not used to the stealth game genre like how I am. And the weapons sound like weak toys, and a little minor complaint is that the aiming on the D-pad is set to invert, and you have to change it to normal in the in-game options menu. And you have to do this every time you start the game up. It doesn't save the setting, which can be annoying. So just be aware, that's all. But still, overall, fun game. Final thoughts: if you're into stealth action games like that, or you like stealth in general, Syphon Filter should definitely be worth taking a look at. It's a fun game for sure. Syphon Filter gets an 8 out of 10 because of the problems I have with it, and it's definitely a must-buy. And just pick it up if you can find it, because it's not that expensive these days. It's definitely worth checking out. And that's it for episode 240, part 1 of 4. Stay tuned. We're going to take a look at the sequel in episode 240, part 2 of 4. We're going to take a look at Syphon Filter 2, where we once again join Gabriel Logan, and also we get to play as his partner from China, Lian Xing. How does this game fare from its predecessor? We'll have to find out next. Which all I gotta say, this is Tony. Peace out. Have a great day. Feel free to subscribe, like, comment down below, and feel free to click on the Discord link and the Facebook links to join my Discord group, TTBurger Gamers United, and my Facebook group, TTBurger Gamers Group, along with my Facebook page, TTBurger8, to check out some updates and more. Which all I gotta say is Tony. Peace out. Have a great day, and see you all in my review of Syphon Filter 2 by 99 Steals and Eidetic for the PlayStation once again. Take care, everybody. Feel nothing at all.